What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're gonna get started on getting this garage clean because it is just a absolute mess, and we have a hurricane coming, so there's a lot we have to prepare for. This is a Saturday here in Central Florida, and supposedly sometime around Wednesday we're supposed to get hit with some pretty heavy storms. So let's get that prepped, let's get this garage clean so we can continue on this project and keep going. Just like that, the garage is cleaned up and all the tools are put away, so now I know where they are. I'm gonna get back to work on this thing, gonna take the brake booster out, get all the stuff, the rest of the stuff around the engine bay out. Probably gonna do that off camera, and then we'll catch back up when we're ready to start grinding everything down, get all the metalwork prepped out in the engine bay. So let's do it. So I went ahead and cut off these little tabs that were right here. It kind of came up from about right here to here and came out. Not really sure what those were for. I don't think it's anything that's really necessary because a lot of people are cutting the frames right here all the way down and they're doing the full tubed front end, and obviously if you do the full tube that would be gone, so I don't think that's a big deal. We're gonna go ahead and grind that down, smooth it out, get any of the sharp edges off, and then we'll obviously be painting that when we clean all this up anyway. So you see I did the same to the other side. Went ahead and got the brake booster out, got the steering column out, and the throttle cable and the speedometer cable and the brake lines. The only brake line that's still left is right here, and I'm not going to worry about that just yet. I got enough of it out of the way, I think, where I'll cap this off with some kind of a cover, plastic cover, whatever, just to keep any little things getting in there, keep it clean. Alright, so we got some stuff cut out of the car. It's been a really long day for me. We got up early this morning. We had a business expo that we had to go to, along with like 60 other vendors or something, I think, for my business. And I think that was from like 9 o'clock in the morning until 1 o'clock in the afternoon. As soon as I got home, I jumped into some clothes that I could work in and got started on the car for y'all and for me. But tomorrow we have a event also. Today's Saturday, tomorrow Sunday morning we have our local Cars and Coffee. I will be sponsoring that event for this month of September. I think it's from like 8 o'clock in the morning until 10. I might show you a little clip. Of the event and some of the cars and our experience there, but we were supposed to bring the race car that my dad has. He's got a 347 small block. It's fully tubbed, aluminum interior, and I think it's running somewhere in the 8s or the 7s. It's a pretty quick car. He had to get a new fuel pump for it, and something about the AN fitting wasn't quite right. So unfortunately we won't be able to bring that. We were hoping to highlight that as part of our booth, but we'll show you some of it, and then once I get back I think we should be done, wrapped up, packed up, and back here to start working again, probably sometime around 11 o'clock in the morning or so. So we just got back from Cars and Coffee. Sorry I didn't have any more footage of it.
My phone was almost dead the entire time, so that's on me. Looks like the storm that's supposed to be coming is taking a turn for the worst. It's coming right up Central Florida, right next to us. And I guess it's somewhere around a Category 4 it's predicted to be. Something with the cold front is going to kind of make it turn right in. If it turns easternly, there's going to be a lot of damage, potentially. So, like I said, I'm going to keep working on the car, but tomorrow, which will be Monday, if we need to, we're going to put the front of the car up on some wheels and make some room in the garage, and probably take the top off of the tent back here. We are inside of the engine bay right now, but I figured I'd stop and take a moment to kind of explain what we're doing and show you guys the difference. So we cleaned up this bucket right here for the hood hinge on the driver's side, and I started making my way over. I wanted to show you just how nice it cleans up, and it may look like it's shot, but like I was saying earlier in my other video, it looked like it was going to clean up pretty good, and it's solid. I mean, the rest started to give it a little bit of a pitting, but that's about it. So I'm really happy with that. We do have a little bit of rot right in there. We will address that. I looked up in there further, but it doesn't go any deeper than that. I think after we get all that cleaned up, I did start taking some of the seam sealer off through here and around, because I would like to come in, and this has a little bit of a lip all the way around, except for kind of right here, right over there in that corner. This piece looks a little bent. We're going to go ahead and either dolly that back, or we're going to cut that off and smooth it out, and then we're going to take this lip off and smooth the transition. I may end up going with like some glazing putty or some kind of a filler to smooth out where this piece that holds the throttle cable, or not the throttle cable, but the speedometer cable and the brake booster and the boot for the steering column, so that it's a little bit less noticeable, make it a little bit of a cleaner design. All this crud came off pretty good. That hole is going to be getting filled. These holes will be getting filled along with those. And I still have to wait for the Scott Rod panel fillers to come in for the back, especially because I don't know if this needs to be kind of cut here and then moved back over to that side. This side is perfectly straight up and down. It looked like this was done on purpose, so it could be from the factory. I've never really taken much notice to it, but because we're going to be going with a manual brake booster, and you're going to be able to see a lot more of this whole area, and this will be all covered in with the Scott Rod panel and smoothed out, that may end up being pushed back in nice and straight as well, so that all these little bird marks from the welder, the factory welding. I'm going to go ahead and show you a little bit of the garage and kind of where I've got all of my stuff stored, just to kind of show you where I'm at. I don't have a whole lot of room in here, but I think I've got enough room to kind of make things work. So I'm going to flip you around, give you a little tour of that, and then we'll go over what we did with the car. And I think I'm going to wrap it up after that, because I've got quite a bit of stuff to prepare for with the storm coming. It doesn't look like it's getting any better. Right now I've got the motor stored over here off to the side. I do have a couple of shelves. This is the old Explorer intake that came off the I still have the lower manifold, but now I've got the tubular upper for it. A set of old manual mirrors, a bunch of new wiring harnesses, a bunch of plastic panel trim, a lot of other assorted trim, a harmonic balancer. That alternator up here, I believe, is the 3G one that I put on, and maybe that was an old Duralast box I had that I ended up just putting the old one in there. Got my new dash pad up there, a new radiator air deflector, but we won't be able to use that now because we have the tubular lower. A whole rebuild kit for the rear end and all the fluids that go with it. Those lower control arms are brand new. I got them with the car, but I'm probably not going to use those. This is where I have the dash sitting for now. Those springs came with the car as well, but we probably won't be using those. That is a brand new fan and heavy duty clutch, and the brand new fan shroud that was in the car that I put in is there. But we may actually end up going with a electric fan, so we'll see. There's the trunk carpet panels. They're in fair condition, not too bad, but I would like to source some better ones if possible. Although I did see somebody was remaking them, and they have a pretty nice setup in the back actually. So we'll see. I might just do the Scott Rod aluminum stuff in the back too. Who knows? I've got some of the parts sitting up here on the shelf, and still a lot of the parts on the table. Still need to disassemble the K member. Got the steering column down there. I guess that's pretty much it. I'm going to be using this sandblast cabinet to do some of the brackets for the engine and some of the hardware that we're going to keep, such as the coil bracket. We may end up keeping that. I don't know. I still got to see what it's going to look like when the panels are on in the engine. Are y'all ready to see what's going on so far under the hood of the car? I mean, it's not, I don't think it's going to be what you're expecting, but I think all things considered, we've done a pretty good job. So let me flip you around, show you what we got. Boom. Look at that. Look at that. So let me go down here and show you what I was talking about. I got to clean up a little bit more. You can see a little bit of a shadow right there. But we cleaned up all that extra lip. And you guys, this isn't done. You know, I know this isn't done. I mean, I haven't addressed this yet, but I wanted to put some, I dusted just a real thin coat of the self-etching primer on this, especially with the weather coming up the way that it's supposed to with Hurricane Ian. I just didn't want any flash rusting. There was a lot of exposed metal, so we got those cut out. We got that smoothed off. I mean, obviously everything is out of here now, as far as all the wiring and brackets and cables and yada yada yada, all the stuff that was under here. Man, you don't even realize until you start going at it. But yeah, look at that. Think about where we were like 4 weeks ago when that was crushed, and this just thing was like, this thing was nasty. So I'm definitely super pumped about what we have so far. I just want y'all to know too, we spent like 8 hours sanding and grinding and sanding on this thing. I decided not to film most of that just because it's so repetitive, and but believe me when I tell you, like, I was coated, my hair, you could still probably, I mean, I gotta take a shower after all this, and I've got little fine particles of rust and paint and primer all up, you know, in my pores and hair. And I mean, it was like every 15-20 minutes I had to wash off my arms because, you know, they were coated in like black and gray and rust. And so tons and tons of prep work went into this. I don't want y'all to think that I just sanded a little bit or scuffed it up real quick and shot some primer over it. When I say there was bare metal exposed, it was a lot of bare metal exposed. The whole firewall, pretty much, the strut towers and a lot of the frame rails. We did a lot of sanding. So just wanted to clarify that.
in case any of y'all thought like, man, he just, scuffed it up real quick and threw some primer on it. That wasn't the case at all. Yeah, I mean, I don't even have words right now. I'm just like so freaking excited, and it sucks. Absolutely sucks that this storm is coming. I hope that everybody stays safe, especially all those that are around Central Florida. It's never good circumstances when something like this happens. Hopefully it doesn't sit too long. If you're from Florida, you know when a hurricane sits in the Gulf for too long and it starts to slow down, that's when it gets really, really strong. I don't know. I mean, the best that we can hope for is that everybody is as prepared as they can be. So I hope, all of y'all stay safe and make it through okay. Hopefully, there's not a lot of people that are out of power for too long. I think they're saying something like this is going to be the same circumstances for a Hurricane Charlie, like Hurricane Charlie that happened 18 years ago, which was a pretty rough one. So, yeah, like I said, I mean, I hope y'all stay safe, and I'm gonna get hunkered down, get prepped, and we'll see how it goes. Otherwise, thanks for watching, and see y'all in the next one. Peace.